right, I'm going to redo that ground wire. That ground wire goes to the side down here. I can't really show it, but there's a small bolt. I don't think it was that one that holds on the side of this bracket here. One thing I wanted to bring up, and these are held in by wire ties, and there's a snap here. I don't know if that's original or not. I'm assuming not. But when trying to pull off your sensors, there's a bracket at the bottom. It's not a bracket. This frame down below kind of keeps you from pulling it out. So once I was able to pull out the, I believe the ABS sensor with no problem. But this other side, it seemed to be held in. So once I pulled that off, the ABS sensor pulled out. The ABS sensor was very dirty. So I've cleaned her up. I'll show a picture, or I might have a video of it. Let's see if I can clean that up too. I don't know if I want to touch it or not, which I just did. I'm gonna wipe it down. But just certain this probe should not be touched. Anyways, cheers. Okay, that was held in by 5mm. Said could be very dirty, could be reusable. Yep, it's very dirty. All right, I'm changing my brakes and looked at my lip. There's no lip on this, and I don't know. I've ever replaced my brake pads on this car, and it looks good. There's no lip, but I've seen some people trying to pry these out from here or there. I mean, all you've got to do is just stick that there, and it's a spring that brings that piece down. And I don't know, I thought that was rubber there, but it just brings it out of the lip. So you don't need to pry and stuff, and it just pulls it out. Now my thing is trying to figure out how to get that wire, which is the brake pad warning. So I'm adding this step after the fact, but after you squeeze that spring in and remove that cage arm back, you can pull the brake pads out. Something to think about when you are pushing back the pistons, the ones that the dampeners are held, you got two on each side. I took the brake reservoir cap off. When you start pushing them in, the fluid my fluid come right up to the top. I mean, it was really close. It didn't come out, but I figure if you're gonna be pushing that, it's gonna create pressures, and you may wanna take that cap off, and it was my guess, and it did happen. A long time ago, or not a long time ago, I did replace all the fluids in the car. So the fluids I know are good. All right, let's go on to the next step. Forgot to mention, removal of the dampeners is just reverse of what I show in the video. So they just pull out, they're held in with like a sprung out claw. You'll see in the video when I'm putting them in. All right, I took this Silly Glide and put grease, it's silicone grease around the edges here on both sides. I was trying to get the seals as best I could. I pushed them all in already. It's time to put in the dampeners, and I'll stop it for a second. There's two different sizes, small and large, and this looks to be like the large claw, so let's do that. All right, so this side here has a sticker on it, and this dampener is going to get on the back of the pad. So I'm gonna put the dampener on. This is the bigger one. I just put a little bit of grease on it, bent two legs out just a little bit so it stays in, and that will go on this side here. And I can't do it with my glasses. Excuse me. So you slip that in there like that, and then what I do is, I'll try to do it again, but pop it in there like that, and then prepare it to pull the stickers off. Sure. Bent the other one over, and put a little grease in the bottom, and then slip that one on the other side. This is the small version. Alright, there's the silicone, a little bit on it. Not gonna hurt anything. And then I'm gonna push it in. Alright, so I got them in place. I'll peel those stickers off once I clean the back of the pad and get it ready. This side will be the side with the sensor. I accidentally put one on the other side and realized it wasn't long enough. So while you could use either side, you want to do it on this side. It don't go across. It does not go across like this. It goes here and down. And I figured it out with the length. But anyway, just food for thought there. All right, with some alcohol, I am cleaning this back surface. Why? Because it will get the sticker on it. And then also I'm just going to use just a very light caliper grease on the top section here on each side. Just let it slide in. It really just allows it to go in well. I think the dampers leave it in so it's solid, so it's probably not needed, but it seems to just put it in really easily. All right, there's the sensor. The long side would be on the side where the meat's going to be, the brake pad. So, yep, be the thick side. So you just put it in there like that. I'll show you the finished product when I have another finished product. It's in there. Make sure it's pushed down, and again, all it does is when the pads start getting down and then it roughs up this, it's time to replace. Now mine never got to that point, but the brake pads they were pretty thin, and I got it before it broke. I got new ones, these, because they get pretty brittle when they get old, and I think it was like $6 to $8 for this each side. Be honest, the dampeners were the crazy price. Make sure you peel off your stickers before you put your pad. Pushes in. And then, if I recall, I think it goes in there like that for later when I close it up and it drapes across there. All right, they're both slid in. Squeeze and then push that in. I don't have another hand, but squeeze and then push that piece underneath there and you're good to go. Squeezed, put that in, and then put that down on the other plastic barrel and you're good to go. You got two wires to connect. You got your ABS and your brakes. I think we're all plugged in. We'll see. The rigged ground wire is in. Use a sheet metal screw, stainless steel, and it's hooked to the side here. New soldered wire. Checked the continuity, it was good. We're plugged in here. Put a quick wear tie around the barrel, verified the plug-ins. I think we're good. Put some anti-seize. Let's look at the screw, or excuse me, not screws, the power line. All right. So the bottom one here is your anti-lock, anti-brake sensor, and that is your brake sensor. So anti-lock sensor and brake sensor. All right, looks like they're plugged in and ready to go. I think we're good. Let's turn the car on and pump the brakes. Recap, pumping the brakes. It looked good. Everything looks to be solid. I actually drove my car while it was up here. It was like putting a little bit of gas on there. I was reluctant, but thought I would try it out. And I was like, well, I'd definitely get to see the brakes, stop and stuff. And then I thought to myself, this is not an all-wheel drive car like that and my other Cayenne. I'm like, I drive my Cayenne so much, I think everything's all-wheel drive now. But I'll put her on the ground, but it is raining today, and my car is clean, and I'm hopeful that the ABS cleaning, I was having every once in a while a little bit of the ABS light would come on, and I think those sensors were really dirty, and I think that should clean up that problem. I did something I forgot to mention, that down here there's another barrel for the ABS system as well, I believe. And what I did was that barrel just fell apart when I touched it, obviously from the heat in the car. And so I went to AutoZone, and they sell, or not, wasn't AutoZone, Advanced Auto, and they sell all these waterproof connectors. And so just cut the wires, resoldered everything back in, and used that really nice silicone-like 400, 500 degree temp tape that's self-sealing. Put that on, and it's hard to solder in that area because it's not very long. But I don't want to just crimp wires. I want them to be good soldered. The wires are old. I had to put a lot of flux on it to try to get it to solder right. But in the end, I got it done. It was not the prettiest solder. I am previous job solder certified, but I don't think this job shows that. But that's fine. It's definitely secure, and it's not going to pop off. But and thankfully, this self-sealing tape hides that. But it is in a connector that is waterproof, so I'm happy with that because that's what it was before, I think. So that's what we leave. Job done. Did the brakes. Hopefully, I don't feel any wobble when pushing the brakes, because it's the first time I've never just replaced the pads. I usually do both, but everything seemed really sound as far as the rotors. They look good to me. Don't drive this car that much, so I think we'll be good. If not, I'll buy new rotors and before I screw up the brake pads. But I think we're good. Next project might be to wrap up painting this bumper. I don't know. It's all depends on the temperature outside and what type of paint I'd bought. And, I don't know what you call the reducer or whatever that allows you to paint in certain temperatures. I'll have to see what I have. That's something that's in the back of my mind to do that. But anyway, as always, there's always a project. This car yesterday flashed, I don't know, one of the lights, so not a big deal there. But then it went away, so hopefully it was just, it's probably just telling me here in the next month or two I'm going to have troubles. And finally, we're getting rain here in Indiana. It felt like August had started early. I mean, months early. That house. Bye. As always, please subscribe.